What's up, you freaking geniuses? So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to find the volume of composite solids. And for this video, I'm specifically going to focus on things like cylinders and cones. Okay, so let's start with this first example right here. So we want to find the total volume of this thing right here. And as you can see, we basically have a cylinder on the bottom. It's slanting over. That's just called an oblique cylinder. And we have a cone on top. All right, so what we want to do here is just find the volume of each of these individually and then just add them together. So first, let's find the volume of this cylinder. So the volume, or the formula to find the volume of a cylinder is equal to pi r squared times h, where r is the radius and h is the height. Okay, so here we can say, and I'll abbreviate it, we'll say that the volume of the cylinder is equal to pi times the radius squared. What's the radius of the cylinder? It's the same as the cone, right? It's given up here as 3 centimeters. So we'll say 3, and that's squared, times the height. What is the height of the cylinder? Well, it tells us that the total height from the very bottom, right here, all the way to the top of the cone is 10 centimeters. And it also tells us that the cone itself is 3 centimeters tall. So that means the cylinder must be 7 centimeters tall, right? So the height we're going to say is 7. So this is going to be equal to pi times 3 squared. That's equal to 9. And times 7. Now 9 times 7 is 63. So here we get 63 times pi, which if you plug this into your calculator, you'll get that it's equal to approximately 197.92. And our units, we're working with centimeters, we're going to get centimeters cubed, right? Cubic units for volume. All right, great. So that's the volume of this cylinder. Now let's find the volume of the cone. So that formula is that the volume of a cone is equal to 1/3 pi r squared h, right? It's almost essentially the exact same formula. The only difference is we have this 1/3 in the very front, right? So in any case, the volume of this cone, we're going to say is equal to 1/3 times pi times the radius squared. The radius is the same for both of them, right? They're both 3. So we get 3 squared right there, times the height of the cone, which we've already established is 3, all right? So then here, this is going to be equal to 1/3 times, let's see, 3 squared is equal to 9, and times 3. Now here, we can multiply two numbers, 1/3 and 3. So 1/3 times 3, that's equal to just 1, right? And then 1 times 9 is equal to just 9. And then 9 times pi is equal to just 9 pi. Now, if you plug that into your calculator, you'll get that this is equal to approximately 28.27, and our units are also centimeters cubed, right? Now, in order to find the total volume, we just have to add up our two numbers, right? 197.92 plus 28.27. So if you add those two up, you'll get that this is equal to approximately 226.19, and our units, again, are centimeters cubed, all right? So that's the total volume right there. Boom. All right, here's the last example we're going to go over. So this one, it's a little bit different. It's not quite a composite solid. It's more of a solid that has a void in it, right? Because as you can see, we have this box, or really it's a cube, right? We can see all the lengths, widths, and heights are all the same length. So that's a cube, and we have this cone that's basically cut out, all right? So in order to find the total volume, what we're going to have to do here, we'll just write it out. I will write it out. I will write it out for you because I want to help you, all right? So the total volume is going to be equal to the volume of the cube, let's just write it out, the volume of the cube minus the volume of the cone, all right? So let's first find the volume of the cube. Okay, so the volume of a cube is simply equal to the length times the width times the height, right? So here we're just going to have 5.1 times 5.1 times 5.1, and that's the same thing as 5.1 cubed, all right? Now, if you multiply that out, you're going to get that this is equal to 132.65, all right? So that's the volume of the cube. Now let's find the volume of the cone. So that guy is going to be, remember, the volume is equal to 1/3 times pi r squared h. So this is going to be equal to 1/3 times pi times the radius. In this case, what's the radius? Well, it doesn't give it to us, but we can figure it out, right? So we know that the total length over here, right, all the lengths are the exact same. They're all 5.1 meters. So we know that the length, or in other words, the diameter, is 5.1 meters. But if we just want the radius, we just want half of this. So half of 5.1 is 2.55, right? So that's equal to the radius of the cone. So we're going to plug in 2.55 for the radius, and that's squared. And then times the height of the cone. Well, the cone, same thing, it goes from the top all the way down to the bottom, so it's just the same height as the cube, which is 5.1, right? So 5.1. All right, so then here we're gonna get that this is all equal to 1/3 times pi. 2.55 squared, that's equal to about 6.5, and then times the height, which again is 5.1. All right, now if you multiply this all out, you'll get that this is equal to approximately 34.73. All right, so we have the volume of the cube, we have the volume of the cone. Now if you subtract those two, you'll get that the total volume is equal to 97.92, and our units are in meters, so we get meters cubed. Boom. So if you found the video helpful, make sure to leave a thumbs up down below, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below.